There are things buried in the dark corners of our world, things that were never meant to be found, and even worse, things that were never meant to be known. You didn't stumble onto this video by accident. You're here because something in you wants to look deeper, to pull back the curtain, to understand what lurks just beyond human perception. Welcome to Mostly Monsters. I am the researcher, and tonight you're going to learn about entities that don't just exist. They noticed when you learned about them. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment. It helps the channel grow more than you think. We release new entries every week and want to know which SCP you want me to investigate next, because the deeper we go, the harder it becomes to come back. There are some files within the Foundation database that aren't just restricted, they're dangerous to read. SCP-2744, known only by its procedural name, TATTLETALE. Object Class Uncontained is one of them. Even its file is locked behind a single, isolated terminal in Site-119, completely cut off from every network. No connections, no signals, no outside contact. Because the moment information spreads about it, it hunts. The entity is described as a towering humanoid, over 2 meters tall, its head wrapped in a torn white burlap, its mouth sealed shut with a thick aluminum zipper. No eyes, no identity, no name. And that's the point. Its true identity must never be discovered. Anyone who attempts to learn more, anyone who shows curiosity, interest, even awareness, is marked. Tattletale prefers recognizable, prestigious targets, because the more known you are, the easier you are to find. It doesn't chase, it doesn't track, it appears, ambushing victims when they are alone, isolated, vulnerable. There is no known way to stop it, no containment, no escape, and the most disturbing part, the Foundation considers knowledge of SCP-2744 itself to be a death sentence, meaning by simply hearing this, you've already taken the first step. At first glance, SCP-1956, the Gnomes, Object Class Euclid, seem harmless, even playful. This anomaly consists of 53 small humanoid entities, each about the size of a toddler, wearing brightly striped clothing that isn't clothing at all. It's part of their bodies. Their faces are exposed, but their heads are crowned with writhing, tentacle-like appendages. They communicate telepathically. They can reshape their bodies, generate limbs, and swallow objects far larger than themselves, with no visible explanation. But what truly defines them is performance. The gnomes don't just exist, they entertain. They perform elaborate musical numbers, acrobatics, synchronized routines, all while using strange, gasoline-powered robotic instruments that resemble living creatures and refuse to respond to anyone else. Watching them is mesmerizing, hypnotic, wrong. Because beneath the performance there is intent. Their behavior is rewarded, managed, controlled. And yet, no one truly understands why they perform, or what would happen if the show ever stopped. SCP-631, the Nyctophobic Nocturnal Predator, Object Class Keter. Doesn't wait for you to find it, it finds you. This species exists in urban and suburban areas, places you believe are safe. It has a grotesque form, part crustacean, part bat, with a long venomous tail, built for reproduction. During the day, it is completely invisible to the human eye, floating silently above, detectable only by heat, watching, waiting. But at night, it becomes desperate, panicked, because SCP-631 fears the dark, and the only way it can relieve that fear is to feed. It seeks out sleeping, isolated humans, striking without warning, driving its stinger into the throat and injecting a paralytic to ensure silence. It waits as the victim dies, then consumes the internal organs and replaces them with eggs. Within an hour, they hatch. The newborns devour what remains, retreat, grow, and with 4 hours become fully mature predators. The entire cycle, from birth to reproduction to death, can take less than 24 hours. A perfect, horrifying loop. And the worst part, they could be anywhere, even now. There are infections. And then there is SCP-610, the flesh that hates. Object class, Keter. This is not a disease, it is a transformation. Originating near Lake Baikal in Siberia, the entire regions have been sealed off and erased. The infection begins subtly, itching, rash, irritation, then it spreads, fast. Flesh hardens into scar-like tissue, consuming the body within hours. Death comes briefly, then life returns, but not as it was. The body mutates, limbs multiply, skin splits, flesh expands outward into unnatural growths. Victims become something else entirely. Eventually, they stop moving and root themselves onto their surroundings, spreading across the environment and transforming entire areas into living landscapes of flesh. They are aggressive. They seek out others. They spread without hesitation. Contact guarantees infection, and once it begins, there is no cure. The Foundation's only solution is total incineration. Burn everything, leave nothing behind. Because if SCP-610 escapes containment, it would be an outbreak. It would be extinction. Not all anomalies destroy the body. SCP-114, the bringer of conflict. Object class, Euclid. Destroys something else. Peace. SCP-114 appears to be an ordinary woman. Quiet, human. But her presence triggers uncontrollable aggression in anyone within 10 to 15 meters. Small disagreements escalate rapidly into arguments, then violence, then chaos. Friends turn on each other. Allies become enemies. And it always ends in bloodshed. But SCP-114 herself remains untouched. No one can harm her, even when ordered to. It's as if something prevents it entirely. And the most tragic detail, she has no idea. She believes this is simply how humans are. Violent, hostile, broken. So she sits alone, isolated at the bottom of a deep containment shaft, communicating only through notes, believing the world above is just as dangerous as the one she creates. So now you know, or at least you know enough. But knowledge comes with a cost. Some of these entities don't stay in files. They don't stay contained, and sometimes learning about them is the first step in being noticed. If you made it this far, make sure you subscribe, like, and comment. It helps more than you think. We drop new SCP deep dives every single week, and I want to hear which entry you want me to research next. And if you want to bring these entities out of the shadows, we've got apparel featuring SCP designs from the entries we cover, so you can carry a piece of the unknown with you. Just be careful what you choose to wear, because some things prefer to be remembered, and others prefer to be forgotten. I am the researcher, and this has been Mostly Monsters. Sleep well, if you can.